This is the real Tom Rose, and we're going to do a algebraic translations problem here. And we're going to have to do some interesting detective work because there are some strange traps in this problem. Hector wants to buy a jersey of his favorite team priced at 62, but the price of the jersey is 38 more than he has. So let's translate that. 62 is 38 more than he has. Hector has, they're defining as D. So we're going to equate 62 and D. But we have to figure out where to put this 38 more. The way that I like to avoid making errors here is I try to keep track of what the large side is and the small side. Here, if 62 is more than he has, that will be the big side of this equation, and the small side will be the amount that he has, which is D. So if we're going to add 38, we should do it to the small side, so that these two sides now are equal to one another. So we've got ourselves an equation, and the answer choices are also equations dealing with D, 38, and 62. But you'll notice our answer doesn't match any of the answers that we have. The answers, so now we need to play detective. How can, like, either we did something wrong, so I'm very high confidence in this because I use my system. If you're low confidence, you may want to go back and double check that. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to assume here is that this answer is correct, what I've written, but it just doesn't look the same as one of the answer choices down there. So now I'm going to play detective and try to fix it. And I noticed that 62 and 38 are in all the answers. So I'm not going to combine these. A normal algebraic simplification would suggest combining the 62 and the 38 into 100. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep them separate. I also noticed that the D's are always on the left. So I'm going to rewrite this equation. D plus 38 equals 62 with the D on the left. It still doesn't match. And at this point I'm noticing there's actually a lot of minus signs and negatives, including some negative numbers. Negative numbers are weird because we're dealing with dollars and jerseys and the amount he has. So negative is unnatural. So what I'm thinking is maybe I could just rearrange these numbers a little bit and try to get some negatives. So let's try, if I swap the 38, let's subtract 38 from both sides. And we end up with D equals 62 minus 38. Okay, we have some answers with 38, negative 38. But the 62 is on the wrong side, so let's try moving that over. Let's subtract 62 from both sides. And see what comes out. We'll end up with D minus 62 equals negative 38. And that is a match with answer choice D. So we found it using detective work and by examining the answer choices. This saves a lot of time, especially when the right answer that we came up with originally isn't found because it simply looks wrong. So if we had tried to proceed randomly, it would have taken forever to find the answer. But by playing detective, we can shorten this considerably.